Today I'm joined by a number of people in our community who are tremendous advocates for both the homeless and individuals in our community who live with mental health issues. Father Rusty Smith is here with us. Father Rusty is here. He is the executive director of the St. Martin's Hospitality Center, and that's where we are today. We also have Sergeant John Gonzalez is with us today, who oversees both our Coast and our CIT units at the Albuquerque Police Department. We have some real advantages with APD and the city of Albuquerque, just in the fact that we have a Coast team, crisis intervention training, crisis intervention teams that work both with the police department, obviously, with families, but also with folks like Father Rusty, Dennis Plummer, who's also here from Albuquerque heading home, to try to create better outcomes for individuals living in crisis in our city. Today we have an announcement to share that we believe will create better community outcomes by reaching out to those in our community experiencing homelessness who also are dealing with severe mental health issues. So today's announcement is about those who are homeless and who are suffering from severe mental health issues. 70% of the homeless individuals in our community either are suffering from mental health issues or have substance abuse issues. Individuals in our community who might otherwise fall through the cracks or fall into a seemingly endless cycle which sees them in and out of our justice system but never receive critical services, they need to manage these challenges, and we need to help them do that in their day-to-day lives. We've been touched by many situations in recent months where we've dealt and have had tragic incidents with individuals who are both homeless and suffering from mental health issues. So as a community, we've banded together. We have a common desire to do better, and today's announcement, I think, speaks to the heart of that. Mental health issues devastate families and individuals, and for many folks, they simply do not know where to turn. And that's why the city is working to provide more resources and the connectivity to existing resources for these individuals and their families. We all know that when mental health issues are exacerbated by homelessness, by hunger, and by a general lack of stability, it can make the problem even worse. Albuquerque Heading Home, for example, and Dennis Plummer is here from Heading Home. This was the initiative we started in my first term. Has been very successful in assisting hundreds of individuals in breaking this cycle of both homelessness and connectivity to services, simply by giving them a stable place to call home. Right now, I think, Dennis, we're over 330 individuals in our community that we've housed through Albuquerque Heading Home. And I want to thank Dennis and his entire team, and Heidi and everybody else from Family and Community Services for the great work that they are doing. The fact is, we need to do more. So today, what we're announcing is a commitment of funds from our Family and Community Services budget to St. Martin's Hospitality Center and Father Rusty to hire an outreach coordinator. This individual that will be hired, and this will be done as soon as we can get the purchase order done, which is the money's there. We're just working through the paperwork right now. We've already signed the agreement. This individual will work within the existing framework of St. Martin's. This individual will work with our Coast team and our CI team, with Father Rusty, with Dennis Plummer, and our other providers in town, to simply make those connections for people in our community that are suffering with mental health issues and homelessness, particularly those who are suffering from severe mental health issues. We want to let folks know that their community cares and that we're here to help them. And I want to thank the folks from Coast and CIT again, and I'm going to have John Gonzalez, who oversees the program, come up here and speak in just a few minutes. But I want Doug Chaplin to come up and introduce Father Rusty. But let me just say this. The more we can connect people to services, the better off we're going to be, both from an individual standpoint, from a human suffering standpoint, from a community outreach standpoint, from a community outcome standpoint. And if we can help individuals stay out of crisis and avoid situations where individuals in crisis are coming in contact with public safety providers, this is going to be, while they're in crisis, this is going to be a meaningful change. And so we're happy to provide these resources, and I think Doug's going to introduce Father Rusty to talk about what he's going to do with some of these resources and continue the great work that happens here at St. Martin's Hospitality Center.
Well, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Father Rusty. Father Rusty is the Executive Director for St. Martin's Hospitality Center. St. Martin's Hospitality Center is a key strategic partner of the city of Albuquerque in dealing with and addressing problems surrounding homelessness and mental health issues. And we're very excited to extend that partnership and broaden it with Father Rusty. And I'll introduce at this time Father Rusty.
Good afternoon and welcome to St. Martin's. We are one of the largest providers of homeless services. We serve over 4,000 people, and we have a mental health facility, emergency shelter, a housing program, as well as a therapy and healing arts center. Today, I just want to thank the mayor and the city of Albuquerque for the amazing partnership we have. I don't know if you even realize the impact, but if you were someone with a mental illness on the streets, often you don't know where to go when you are in crisis, and this funding will allow us to have an emergency response team that will go to people in need and get them into services. We're creating a centralized intake system so that we have contact at night with someone who's in crisis. We can have them in services within 72 hours. And as the mayor said, this is not something that we do by ourselves, but we do it with amazing partners like Heading Home, Healthcare for the Homeless, Supportive Housing Coalition. This is a game change moment for the people that we serve, because mental illness often does not allow you to make good, sound decisions about getting service. Any night, someone can call us and we will respond to where they are and help them get into services. And we are so grateful to have this opportunity. And again, so grateful to the city of Albuquerque that's been a faithful partner in helping us get these solutions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thanks for all you do. We really appreciate you. Thanks so much. You gonna have John speak?
Go ahead.
All right. Introduce yourself and.
Hi, my name is John Gonzalez, and I am the sergeant of the Crisis Outreach and Support Team and the Crisis Intervention Team with APD. And we just want to say that we're super excited to have another resource available. The one thing that my team does day in and day out is we hook people up that are in a crisis or are suffering from some sort of mental illness into resources to either help them get off the street, help them pay rent, a gas bill, get a food box, and anything we can do, any partner we could have with more resources is just excellent. So we're super excited, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate it so much. All right. We'd be happy to address any questions you might have at this point.
This team, is it going to be?
Father Rusty, why don't you come on up? Because I'm sure some of these will address yours as well.
The team will be social workers, people who have familiarity dealing with veterans. Who else is going to be on the team?
Absolutely. This individual that we're funding, this position that we're funding today, will be someone who's highly trained, who's trained not just in the professional aspects, but also in the connectivity aspects. Because we do have actually in our community, we have a number of services available to individuals, and sometimes, and what we're trying to do today with this program is those individuals fall through the cracks. They don't know where to go. They're in crisis, and so we're going to be proactively reaching out to these individuals rather than waiting for them just to come to us each and every time. Father Rusty and his program through this funding are going to actually reach out and try to get these people to get the services that they need, whether they realize it at the time or not. It's a completely voluntary program, but we want to make sure that we're being proactive in that. From a qualification standpoint, maybe Father Rusty can speak to that a little bit.
We actually are building a team of 3 individuals. They will be master's level mental health people who have huge amounts of experiences in working this population. We're working with other funders to actually fund the other 2 positions. So our goal would be that whenever a crisis happens, we'll have a multi-tier level of engagement with people's needs and try to actually meet them where they are and give them the assistance they need.
You're on call 24 hours?
No, actually, they will be in call until 9 o'clock at night at this point, and I think that is absolutely an amazing goal to try to have 24-hour coverage.
They'll be full time. It's their
Yes.
hours will vary based on where Father Rusty feels the need is, and they felt the need to take it into the evening, so we'll start a little bit later in the day. Yeah. Well, because as I've talked to my staff, to Doug Chaplin at Family and Community Services, and Father Rusty, Dennis Plummer, Pastor Hill, all the great providers that we have in the city of Albuquerque, Brothers of the Good Shepherd, Noonday, a lot of the great providers that are out there, it's become apparent to me that connectivity sometimes is the biggest issue. And if we have services available, and we have individuals in our community that are living in crisis and they're not getting together, well, that's what this is about. This is about bridging that gap and building that bridge between people and the services so that hopefully we can avoid some of the incidents that we've seen over not just the last year or 2 years, but you just go back in time and you'll find incidences where if people just could have received the help that they needed, have become stabilized, frankly, we'd have some better outcomes. And so it's just part of the process, and I think it's time.
Obviously, we see this issue every single day, every single day. Do you envision this program being able to get even more people off the streets, more people the actual help that they're going to need to get off the street?
Yes, I think this is life-changing. I think the city for actually many years has tried to work to provide additional services. I think this outreach arm is one of those last pieces. And I'm very optimistic about this because I actually believe homelessness can be ended. I would say that we easily will house another 200 people a year, and many of these people will be people who suffer from significant mental illness. I think this is an amazing next step.